Minasan konnichiwa, and welcome back to Anime Club, the show where we watch the first few episodes of an anime series and give you our first impressions. I'm Reina Scully.
I'm William Haynes.
Who's really good at parkour.
Really hurt myself for real. I feel sick.
So this week we watched Fate Zero.
Fate Nova Zero.
No, not that.
Okay.
Fate Zero.
Fate Zero.
Good job. And from what I've seen so far, I enjoy it.
I enjoyed it too. At first, like, you know, I think my generic opinion, every time we do a show that involves magic, I'm like, I don't like magic. It seems so fake to me, even though everything in anime ever is fake, and you gotta realize that, but I don't like magic-themed things where they say magic like it's science.
Like, wait, fantasy? Or, no, like magic?
When they're saying like, oh yeah, you know, it's magic. Like, that seems like such a cop-out to me, like, give me something better than magic. But I liked it.
I'm glad you did. The first episode was a little bit tough to get through.
Oh yes, 45 minutes?
And it's super hard to understand.
Oh, it's like, I guess they needed it though. If you're gonna watch the show, I suggest, like as my friend Sam would say, muscle through the first 45 minutes of the first episode because it's all information. There's no action, there's no fun stuff. It's just them explaining the extremely complex world with very strange things in it.
You know what? In fact, everything about this show was so confusing in the beginning that I, for the first time in my life, had to take notes while watching an anime. And this is all from the first episode.
Wow. Tell me about this.
Okay, so the dude with the weird name. Okay, oh, okay. So the dude with the weird name
Uryu Ryunosuke.
Yeah, it's Uryu Ryunosuke. I know, really crazy name.
Wants to summon demon, legitimate serial killer. I don't think did he do that on purpose? But
no, I think he is just a serial killer that is like interested in, I guess, demons, and because he says something strange when he kidnaps the kid and he's talking to the poor kid, who wet himself, by the way. He says something weird like, wouldn't it be really messed up if I actually summoned a demon?
Oh,
and then the Holy Grail chose him to summon a demon, and he summons the caster, who is just as psychotic as him, which is great. You think the caster is going to be a good guy.
I did for a second. I was, because what I noticed is that their servants seem to bring out something good in them or something different that they don't really understand. I was like, oh, so this guy might show this guy, the serial killer, how to be a better person.
Oh.
But it turns out, no, we have an actual evil character.
Yeah.
An all evil character.
The anime did a really good job showing you that he may or may not be good or bad, whatever, because you know Uryu is definitely evil.
That's what some animes do and some animes don't. Some animes, like I say, like for instance, One Piece, the bad guys are legitimate bad guys.
Yeah, and they're easy to tell.
They're like other shows are like, oh, I did this bad thing for this reason. I'm not all evil. This show is one of the bad guys, a bad guy. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, there could be more development, but I'm pretty sure Caster and Uryu are serial killing evil monster people.
You can't really go back from that.
No.
Like he killed an innocent family and then they killed a little boy. They can't be like all of a sudden, I didn't mean it, I was dumb. Nah, you killed a mofo.
And he kept the dead bodies in his apartment.
And you kept the mofo's bodies in your mofo apartment, mofo.
And then he dipped his foot in their bucket of blood and made the summoning circle out of it.
That I could forgive.
This was necessary in order to keep track of all of the masters, servants, and I guess rivalries, and also the history behind everybody, because there's a lot of history. Their whole thing is based on the Holy Grail War.
Yes.
Which originated, I believe, 200 years ago. There were three main families, the Tosaka, you know what? Tosaka.
Thank you.
There we go. Tosaka, Makiri, and Einsburn were the three main families where they fought over the Holy Grail and whatnot. And then, lo and behold, like 200 years later, all this is happening. I think there's a Holy Grail War every 60 years, and this is the fourth one to occur, and it's set in the 90s because we saw President Clinton.
Yeah, I was like, when we were watching it and they showed the TV screen, I was like, that TV screen looks a little bit too classic. I was like, this has to be in the 90s. And then Bill Clinton was on the TV giving a White House address, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely the 90s.
If I were to choose a main character for this show, I really do think that
Waver! Oh.
Really? Oh, you like Waver.
Yeah.
We really like Waver and the Rider.
That's the most interesting part to me.
It's because they're funny.
That could be a show on their own, on its own. That's the real character development, because we know Waver started off as this really bad kid.
Yeah.
And then, but like I'm saying, these people's servants are bringing the best out of them and showing you could be a cool guy too.
Yeah, Waver's really interesting because his whole spiel is that he wants to be recognized for his talent and skills, and he thinks everybody should be, but this is a world where your name and your last name and all that prosperity speaks louder. So he wants to live in a world where you can fight for your right to be respected, which is what he explains to Ryder, who is his servant, and Ryder goes, "That's ridiculous, let's conquer the world," because he's ginormous. He's basically a lion human. As I was saying before, if we were to choose a main character, I really do think it would be the Saber, Kiritsugu, the Ainsburns people, the white hair lady.
You'd say that's the main character? They've definitely gotten the most screen time, I think.
Yeah, also when I saw Saber, who is technically King Arthur.
King Arthur turned out to be a woman. I just want to say, because when we were first watching the first episode, I was a little bit upset. I was like, this is gonna be another one of those shows where it's a whole bunch of dude energy of a whole bunch of dudes being like, let's fight this dude war.
Anime dude energy?
I'm a boy, I'm a boy.
Yeah.
Let's fight like boys. And then all of a sudden, immediately, they were like, oh yeah, but one of these boys is actually a girl.
A girl, and that's like, King Arthur.
Oh,
Hanaji? Nosebleed?
Nosebleed, yeah.
That was me,
That was
I was really into her.
They're actually setting up a really good story around
They are, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Muscle through that first episode, and then it gets interesting.
It's true. I was really overwhelmed in the first episode, but I
thought I put a drink there, but I didn't. Continue on with what you were gonna say.
I was really overwhelmed in the first episode, but after watching the second episode, I can't stop now. Like, I need to know what's happening. Now the storyline is not tangled at all to me, so I want to know more.
It's still pretty confusing to me, but luckily in the beginning of most anime shows, they explain to you everything you need to know from the last episode, or they make it really easy by repeating the same stuff over and over again, so thank you.
Okay.
Or you can have a really smart friend.
I think the Ainsburn, the white-haired people, that's the main part of the story.
They're German, I think they're supposed to be.
So Kiritsugu is their master, is the person that is basically...
Well, she's German, and her husband is from Nippon, as you said.
Yeah. Airi is the actual heir, or actually, it's really weird. In the recent episode, she claimed that she was created to be a puppet of the
They kind of hinted at that in the
Ainsburns?
beginning when she was like, it was my destiny to like give you a child or whatever.
Yeah, because you gave me life, you showed me what it is to not be a puppet. So this is the second time she's mentioning it. It's actually a little bit weird. And she does mention that she's never left the castle at all or whatever. But
this is just like Aladdin, no? Well, Jasmine didn't leave the castle.
Yeah, it's a lot like every princess story.
Yeah. There's so many stories going on at once.
There really are.
I could have settled for 3, but
no, we have to have 7.
7's cool too.
And it's not even just 7, it's 7 times 2 because there's the master and the servants, and then there's like offspring, and there's stories about the offspring that are happening. That's really strange too.
Yeah, all the stuff about the little kids, the little girls and all that, I don't need it all.
I don't like the crest worms, the worms that...
I don't need any of that. I mean, except for the
either.
uncle dude is pretty cool.
The uncle, the one that
who kind of looks like he went blind in one eye, but
he's basically sacrificing himself so that Sakura, actually she's a Tosaka daughter that got taken in by the Mato family. He's gonna try to take her place instead so that she doesn't have to battle whatsoever. But the crestworms have to like violate you and become a part of you, because I think that is what the relic is, but he's also not powerful enough, so there has to be another incantation in his summoning spell. It's ridiculous. Kiritsugu is the husband of Airi, the one with the white hair. Then they have like a daughter together, even though the daughter doesn't call him dad.
Father.
Yeah.
She calls him by his first name.
Very weird.
That's not in Japanese culture? You don't call your daddy?
No, you can call them otosan, papa, oyaji.
It looks like he's sneaking out on his woman, and that's why he keeps her in the castle all the time, because he got a side piece outside.
I know, it really, but in Japan nonetheless. Okay, we're talking about the Mage Slayer.
So, yeah, they live in Germany, but like he goes all the way to Japan, and he goes to this hotel room where there's a bunch of guns and grenades on a bed, and then there's a woman in there, and she's like, I bought all your grenades and guns. Here's your old favorite gun, and he's like, ooh, only took me 2 seconds to cock this gun.
But I'm a little rusty, aren't I? I used to be faster than this.
But whatever. And then the lady's like, ooh, I missed you or whatever. And like, but he doesn't seem very into it. But I mean, that's kind of how you treat your side piece, you know?
But why is that happening?
We don't know
that
yet.
wasn't necessary. I really don't like that.
It was definitely unnecessary, but we'll find out in the future.
We'll find out in the future.
On Alda Noah Zero.
No, Fate Zero.
Fate Zero on Fate Zero.
Do you think you're gonna keep watching this?
Yes! Yes! Now grab my arm like that. Yes, I'd watch this show again, dang it. Once I'm done watching the 12 other shows that I said I was gonna watch, and I only watched half of them.
And that's all we have for you this week on Fate Zero. Next week, we're gonna be checking out Parasite.
Oh man, that's what you are to my life.
So if you want to check out Parasite along with us, head on over to crunchyroll.com/sfnerd to get your free premium membership trial. And actually, once you're done with the trial, if you enjoy the service, you should sign up for Crunchyroll. It helps us out and it helps the show keep going, so do it.
I wish Crunchyroll had a meter to tell you how much life you spend on their website, and it would be 1/4 of mine.
In terms of time?
Yes.
Oh, man.
I spent 5 years.
Once you've watched Parasite, remember to take a video of yourself, upload it onto YouTube with the hashtag SFNParasite, and you can join us again next week like our friends.
Can I make a video too?
Yeah, of course.
There are a lot of characters to keep track of, so don't automatically choose particular storylines that you're invested in. Keep an open mind for this particular anime. There are a lot of plot twists.
Fate Zero is a prequel to Fate Stay Night, and the events of Fate Zero happened 10 years before Fate Stay Night, and they basically explained the Holy Grail War and everything that happens in it.
I know I do a lot of comparisons between animes and video game RPG type things. However, this one is pretty blatant about it, as the 7 servants have various names that are basically classes, whether it's Saber, Berserker, or Archer, Lancer, etc. They're all basically classes, and each class has a specific ability or strengths and weaknesses.
The first season has a lot of exposition, a lot of dialogue and build up and backstories, and that's cool. I'm definitely enjoying it more in the second season, when we're finally getting into them fighting each other.
Hey guys, it's me. I really thought this was a good anime. It was really, it was the fate and I really like the kind of animes where it's like, and that's just what's cool to me, and I think it's dope. Reina, I'd like to introduce you to my servant.
Oh.
It's Mr. George Washington. He's gonna teach me about stuff. Sign a contract with him.
Oh, yeah, contracts. That's a really big deal in animes, too. Okay.
Be nice.
Ah!
That's all it took.
It went in my eye.